Don't forget to thumbs up, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to my channel. We would love to have you. So please click that subscribe button and the bell button so you can be notified anytime I do upload a video. So in this video, I will be doing a closure sew-in on my daughter. We are using 3 bundles of body wave hair from my hair company, Lavish Bundles. This hair we did pre-lighten and then watercolor. I'm not sure of the exact color we used. I can list the rinses because there were a few different rinses that I used. I mixed together to create this color, so I can link those in the description box for you. I'm going in, and at first I'm just tacking down her ball cap. We're not doing a full ball cap method, just the area that the closure is going in. I'm just using some glue to tack it down, make sure it doesn't roll back when I'm applying the closure. Next, I'm just lining the closure up with her hairline, which is fairly low, so if it does look like it's too far down on her forehead, it's because her natural hairline is a little bit low. So in order for it to look natural, I do just have to sit that on top of her natural hairline. I'm having my daughter hold the closure for me so that I can attach it in the back, sew it down without too much tension, and then pulling the closure away from the front. So I'm just going to go in and sew that down, make sure it's nice and secure. Excuse me. Yeah, so I'm just going to sew that from side to side, starting from the back of the closure and going from one side down and then around to the other side. Once her closure is tacked down, I'm just going to go in and cut the extra cap from in front of the lace. Once that cap is removed, I'm just going to gauge where the lace is going to lay and then begin applying my layers of glue. I usually add about maybe 2 to 3 layers of glue when I'm applying these closures or frontals for my daughter, just because she doesn't necessarily sweat a lot, but she has oily skin and she does work a lot, and so she's pretty active, and so her hair goes through a lot in the 2 weeks that she wears her hairstyles usually. Sometimes she'll keep them in a little longer, but the glue usually only lasts about 2 weeks. So I'm putting in maybe 2 or 3 layers just to make sure that we don't have any lifting. So I'm a little bit impatient. Don't be like me, y'all. Wait for the glue to turn clear before you apply another layer. But I'm kind of impatient, so I went in a little bit sooner than I should have. But everything works out in the end, because I will tie this down until I'm done with her install. Once I'm done applying the glue, I do lay the lace down into the glue and tie it down with wrap strips to make sure that everything is secure and melted down into her skin. I'm making sure to tie the wrap strips below the braids on her on her braided down foundation, just so that I can go in and sew without the wrap strips being in the way. Now, as I've stated before, the hair was wet because we had just colored this hair. So it's easier for me to just sew it in damp and then blow dry it as I go. It's just faster, and I didn't want to wait for the hair to air dry or go through and blow dry it without it being attached. So I'm just going to go in with the longest bundle we have, which is a 24-inch. And I'm just going to start right at the very base, the bottom of her braids, kind of sewing the tracks underneath the braids. So, just in case she wanted to wear her hair up in a ponytail, which she won't, but just in case, it's as far down as we could get it so that her natural hair isn't showing much, because she does have a very low hairline in the front as well as in the back. So we wanted to make sure we have as full coverage as we can get. So I'm just sewing these tracks in from ear to ear, and I'm working my way up until we are done with this bundle of hair. And I'm not sure if you could tell or not, but this bundle is doubled. Usually when I'm sewing in more than 2 bundles of hair, I like to double my wefts Even if it's just the first bundle, I may not double all the bundles after that one, but the initial bundle, I do like to double just to make sure that we have enough space to fit all of the hair. So like I said, I'm just going to continue with the fold over method, and I'm just going to work my way up her head, sewing from ear to ear, folding those tracks over. I try not to ever, if I can avoid it, I try not to cut the tracks because it compromises the integrity of the bundles, and you get a lot of shedding that way. So I try not to cut the tracks, and which is another reason she was able to reuse this hair. If I hadn't mentioned prior, this is hair that my daughter has used in another install some months ago, and she just wanted to color this hair and wear it in another, just a different look. So yeah, we're just going to continue sewing and working our way through this sewing. Now that I've started sewing in the second bundle of hair, I'm going to start to angle the hair towards the closure so that the end of the track meets up with the end of the closure. This will create a seamless look, so that, like, if the wind blows or if she pushes the hair away from her face some, it won't necessarily look like a frontal, but it will have no gaps where there's like a space you can see between the closure and where the tracks stop. Excuse me. So I'm just going to continue to do that all the way up the back of her head until we're done sewing all the bundles in. Once all of the hair is sewn in, I'm just going to comb it and detangle everything, make sure it's nice and flat. And then we're going to get ready to style this hair. So she did state she wanted a middle part, so I'm just going to go in and establish the middle part for her. And we're just going to make sure everything is laying where we want it to be. And then I'm going to take my hot comb and, which I forgot to record, was me using my wax sticks to go over the area where the part is and a little bit across the front hairline. And I'm just taking my hot comb and smoothing everything flat, which is very important. The hot comb is your best friend when it comes to closures and frontals. It keeps everything smooth and flat and sleek looking. So yeah, getting that part straight and making sure everything is where we want it to be. After smoothing down the top of her hair, I am going to go ahead and remove the wrap strip from her hairline, and then I'm going to cut off the excess lace. Now, I know you can see that the lace has been stained by the rinse, which is fine. And in all honesty, if you were to be using a rinse on someone's natural hair, especially like a red tone rinse, it would stain their scalp as well. So what I'm going to do to fix that is just go in with some more foundation powder and go across her hairline to just make it look more scalp-like. I'm getting rid of all of the lace we don't need or lace that wasn't tacked down, which all of it was pretty much tacked down. We just are cutting away any lace that is too far down on her forehead. I'm combing out 2 small sections on either side of the closure to create her baby hairs. She does like kind of big baby hairs, I guess. So I'm going to just part that off and pluck those 2 little areas out some and cut down some hairs to create baby hairs on either side of the closure for her. Once I've got the hairs plucked out and the right thickness, I'm going to just take my shears and cut them down to about an inch, inch and a half or so. And using some Gorilla Snot, I'm going to lay down her baby hairs. I prefer Gorilla Snot because it has a really good hold and it helps to keep the closure. Laying down on the edges, which sometimes can lift before the rest of the closure lifts just from normal wear and tear. So I like to use Gorilla Snot to just keep those baby hairs tacked down and everything tight and secure. After we lay her edges right where we need them to be, I'm going to make sure her part is crisp and visible. We want it to look like scalp, so I'm going to take some concealer, LA Girl Pro Concealer to be exact, and I'm just going to run that down her part to brighten it up and make it look more like scalp. So, yeah. And there, I'm just going to place that right in the center and just run it down the middle. Now, it does come out looking a little bit bright, so I'm going to go over that with just like the leftover foundation that is on the makeup brush. Just gonna dust that over the top so that the part doesn't look too bright. And then I'm just gonna set all of that makeup and foundation in with some Got To Be spray just to melt everything into her skin. So now we are getting ready to add the layers to her hair, and I'm just going to give her some long layers, nothing too dramatic. We still want to keep most of the length, so I'm just going to take the shears and what we call in the hair world is slither down the front of her hair to frame her face. I'm just going to take the shears and just slide them down the front of her hair, and that's just going to create that gradual gradual layered effect. And I'm just going to layer all the way around her head, not as short in the back as in the front, but I'm just going to trim the ends basically, which will still create a layer, longer layers, so that we can retain, like I said, most of the length, but give her some fullness so it's not just flat. So, yeah, we're just going through her entire head, and I'm just going to go through and trim all of the hair, make sure the layers blend between the 2 different lengths. Once we're done trimming all of her hair, I'm going to take another wrap strip and tie her edges back down to make sure that her baby hairs are pretty much set in place and that the closure is melted completely. We want to make sure that at no point in time we give these closure any opportunity to lift. And sometimes when styling, you could be a bit rough and start to pull things up. So to avoid that, I'm just going to tie everything back down, and we're going to get ready to start curling this hair. Now, originally, I was going to try to use my flat irons to curl his hair, But the flat irons that I chose were not the right size and just weren't sliding and gliding through the hair like I would prefer them to. They were fairly new, so they're, newer flat irons sometimes have like a waxy kind of film on the plate, so it just wasn't gliding like I needed it to create these curls. So after this curl, I did end up switching to my Conair Infinity Pro 1-inch barrel curling irons to finish curling her hair. And these curling irons I got from Walmart, but I can link them below. I believe you can also find them on Amazon, but I will link them below to exactly where I got them from. But these are really good. I like them a lot. They heat up to, I think, about 355, or is it 455? I'm not sure. I have to check, but they get super hot and they hold a really good curl. So I'll be using these throughout her head to create not a super tight curl, but a good size curl. We want these curls to last a few days, and then as they fall, they'll start to look like waves. But yeah, I'm just going to go through and curl her hair all over with this 1-inch barrel curling iron. And yeah, we'll just come back once we're done with curling. All right, you guys, here is the finished product. If you guys like this video and would like to see more like it, don't forget to thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. As you can see, my daughter is absolutely in love with her hair. It came out just like we wanted it to, bouncy and full. So yeah, make sure you thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.